So good.
Best wrestling intro music out there.
Oh, without a doubt. Every time, twice. Mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, let's save some of that for later. Welcome back, folks, to Top Rope Wrestling Talk. I'm Dom, and I am joined once again by our wonderful founder and co-host of Top Rope Wrestling Talk on Facebook, Bruce.
What's going on?
And this is our special Into the Fire preview for NWA if the music didn't give it away by now.
Yes, special only NWA. Only thing we're talking about is NWA on this
That's
episode.
it. Just going off on it. It's going to be great. I'm actually excited. You know, this is NWA's first big pay-per-view since their comeback and power on YouTube, and they've set it up really nicely. And
Oh, dude, yeah.
we've got the full card here. We've got some questions for some of you because we may be posting this in new places. So for some of you that haven't seen, we do a segment called Keep It or Kill It, where I will say a statement or a question, and we decide whether or not we want to keep
Kill
it great or kill it because it sucks. See, that's kill it, and then keep it would be.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
It's pretty simple. I'm sure you'll figure it out as we go. In fact, there was, as I'm pulling my stuff back up because I had a power blink as we tried to record, there was a keep it or kill it question, which kind of led into our first match, which is that we wanted to talk about, which was basically who is, or I'm sorry, I'm off my game, guys. Give me a minute. The question was that the question mark is none other than Josephus of NWA. Keep it or kill it.
Ooh, you know what? Fucking keep it.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
I'm going to speak for Jose because he wanted to be on with us, and then unfortunately he got... Well, not unfortunately, but he got stuck with taking care of his small child, which he's a great dad. He's got an awesome, cute little son. He actually brought up that the mark might be none other than Steve Corino, which would just trip me out because he hasn't been in the ring in a few years. He hasn't been around much, you know. So I'm gonna say kill it on Jose's behalf because he thought it was Steve Corino. But Josephus is the easy pick because he's already there. He got his butt whooped a couple of times. He disappeared for a while. And once he disappeared, all of a sudden the question mark went from those little promos during the YouTube shows to in ring and on a mic. So it's kind of like a Superman thing where you don't see Clark Kent and him, like you don't see Josephus and the Mark at the same time.
Look, you don't see Batman and me in the same room.
You don't see Big Papa Pump and me, so.
So look here, I addressed this with, you know, we talked about this, you know, in our admin chat. I'm not really, for the first time in my many years of watching wrestling, I'm not worried about the man behind the mask with the question mark.
I'm really not either.
My big question is how the fuck is this guy so over?
Like, oh, dude, people love him because
this dude is so over. You take his gimmick and his character, you put him in the E. No, not gonna work. He
booed out of the building.
His gimmick might get over. Excuse me, in AEW, but I don't think so. But dude,
I've never crazy. I mean, in WWE, he would be the guy that got squashed by like Braun Strowman or something. But in NWA, he fits perfectly. Like they do things so differently there,
and it's so awesome.
It really is. I was gonna say refreshing, but awesome works too.
That Mongrovian spike is nasty.
I know him and his karate.
But dude, I really do. I actually kind of mark out when I see him come out to the ring. Like, it's awesome.
I do too. No pun intended, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's safe to say that most people, when they see this man, tend to mark out. We'll be here all night, folks.
Yes,
Anyway,
not really. It's probably gonna be about
so
an hour.
that brings me into the first match that we've got on the rundown here, which is obviously the question mark, taking on Trevor Murdoch, who was the subject of a little controversy, which we're not going to get into. We're not going to do that. I'm just saying.
No.
But
That's in the past.
That's our first match, Murdoch versus the question mark. Who do you think is going to take this one home, dude?
I honestly see the question mark taking it home only because he's so flipping over right now. It's gonna be a good match. I completely forgot about Trevor Murdoch until he had that match with Nick Aldis. He's still amazing in the ring. It's gonna
really is.
Listen, all these matches on this card as we go down are gonna be solid matches, and I see the question mark taking this home. And before we get Dom's reaction, guys, come over and join our Facebook group, Top Rope Wrestling Talk, and join our NWA Into the Fire thread, and also get in on our NWA inaugural NWA group forum, where we will name our first ever NWA World's Heavyweight Champion in Top Rope Wrestling Talk.
Okay, can we say second? Because I've got
No.
No, it's not official. This is just because I love NWA. That we're definitely gonna I'm gonna put a form together, put it out in group, and they're very simple. It's just pick the matches like we are. There's gonna be some tiebreakers at the bottom, like how many titles will change hands, etc. You just fill all that out. You put it in. Join us for the live thread. We do updates during it, and then almost immediately after, unless something crazy happens, we announce, whoever it was that won the title, because there's typically also multiple titles on the line. Like, we might name an NWA champion, a national champion, and if there's a logjam, we got tag titles to throw out there. Might be a women's champion.
We'll also name our first women's champion.
Right? But they will all be inaugural. This has never happened before. And now that NWA is back and we're all loving it, we figured, why not? We're running this thing anyway. We're doing that.
All right, Dom. So who do you got? Trevor Murdoch or the question mark, bro?
Oh, man. I mean, I'm with you. I think it's going to be a tremendous match. I know Trevor Murdoch is tough as hell. And the mark is kind of rolled through everybody. I don't see him rolling through Trevor Murdoch like he has with everyone else, but he'll still win.
I think Aaron Stevens is going to be the decision maker if he comes out to the ring with the question marks. I know he has a match in the card later on down the road.
I know Aaron. Now I know we joke about you because if anybody's watched us, we say a lot about Walmart scarves. But if there's any man, if there's any man in the wrestling industry that actually has a Walmart scarf, it's Aaron Stevens. I mean, he actually tripped over it last week in the ring because he wouldn't take it off. It's horrible. It's horrible. So if anybody wants Walmart scarves, get it from Aaron Stevens. My man's rocking a Burberry. We just joke with him because it gets under his skin.
Yeah.
Now
I'm not going to mention the God on this show because it's NWA.
Yeah, please don't. We'll keep that. We'll keep that for the next episode. And even in our next match on the rundown here, we have another keep it or kill it question, which because we've got the tag match, which is Allison Kay and Ashley Vox versus either two of the three, Melina, Thunder Rosa, or Marty Bell. And the question I had was, Melina will actually wrestle in an NWA ring. Keep it or kill it.
Keep that shit. She already said she was in the
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
She said that's why she was back on episode 8, I believe, when they had all the interviews right before last week.
Mm-hmm.
She said that's why she came back to NWA.
She's said in multiple interviews since her return to TV on NWA that she's there for the title. But then she's also kind of, stepped to Allison Kay and then let Marty and Thunder kind of do the dirty work or get there, just get in there and go after people like Allison Kay or people like Ashley Vox. And I want to see it. The only thing we've really seen from Melina the last few years is her kind of popping up and running in on other shows like NWA. There was one on Lucha Underground back in the day. We haven't really seen her in a ring on this kind of stage in quite a while, like probably since WWE.
Yeah, it's been since WWE.
So you know what? Just to be different and for all those reasons, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to say she leaves it to Marty and Thunder, who I love, to take care of the job. Because obviously we have 3 people that could possibly be in this match. And that's another question. Who are the 2 out of the 3 between Marty, Thunder Rosa, and Melina that are actually going to fight, to be in the fight? And who's going to be outside trying to be like the deciding X factor?
So because it's a pay-per-view, it's going to be Thunder Rosa and Melina tagging up. And they're going to pick up the win. Thunder Rosa's on fire, and it's a pay-per-view. Why wouldn't you put Melina in the ring for her first match?
Right? Like, yeah, that's actually a great answer, because I was going to say, once we figure it out, let's pick a winner. But you already did that, so I'm going to go right into it. I do think being the first pay-per-view would be great, but I think they're going to go with Thunder and Marty, and Melina's going to get involved from ringside. I still believe they're going to win this one. It's not like there's no titles on the line. This is just a grudge match from, all the last few episodes of Power, where Allison has been jumped, or even Ashley Vox was jumped by Marty Bell and Thunder Rosa. They're looking for payback, and I don't think they're going to get it.
Jumped. Kay got her ass beat a couple weeks ago.
She got whooped on. Like, just
Thunder Rosa put the boots to her, and that forearm from Marty Bell, like, holy Jesus.
Yeah, oh my God. Like, Marty Bell's come a long way since the old Impact TNA Dollhouse days. I'll give her credit for that.
I am going to put this out there right now. NWA's women's division is the best division in wrestling right now. Women's division in wrestling right now. It's better than WWE. It's better than NXT. It's better than AEW. It's better than Impact.
I mean, you're not wrong.
NWA has the best women's division
You're
right
not
now.
wrong. They definitely shoot for more of a quality division than a quantity kind of thing.
Yes.
And they've done a good job. I've said it on this show before, but in case people are just tuning in, Billy Corgan has done a tremendous job putting all of this together, giving it a feel, grabbing the talent. Dude, they should have kept you back in TNA and got rid of Dixie. No lie.
TNA would still be around. It wouldn't be just Impact. And staying in Canada, it'd still be in the U.S.
Oh yeah, well, most definitely. I mean, so that's another thing. Shout out to Billy Corgan, because he's done a tremendous job, and I love the way he's brought NWA back, even if it is just on YouTube or Fight TV for the pay-per-view or whatever. Like, it's tremendous. Thank you again. And with that being said, we're going to move on to our next match on the card, which is Eli Drake. And he is taking on Mr. Anderson.
Wow. Got some pipes on you, bro.
I know, right? I told you I used to be a lead singer back in the day. So
yeah, boy bands don't count.
It was a rock band, damn it.
So listen, I think, I'm actually freaking off the wall excited about this, because I missed Eli Drake in Impact. Like, I missed that whole era of him because I didn't watch. I've only seen him sporadically and seen like promos from him. Dude is highly becoming one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And I've always liked Anderson. But I feel like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's getting kind of sloppy or whatnot. Or maybe it's just because I haven't seen him in the ring in a while. But my man, Eli Drake, is going to take this home. The dude is phenomenal.
Yeah, these are 2 guys that I definitely loved in Impact, and even with Anderson when he was not Anderson in WWE. And they kind of disappeared for a little bit. And Eli Drake got painted into a corner as Impact went on, because they just made him this face with this dummy gimmick and the button, and that was all he ever did. Just dummy, yeah, dummy, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can do stuff like that. It doesn't mean I belong in the ring.
No, you definitely don't.
And since coming to NWA, he's kind of been able to like spread his wings a little bit, cut these awesome promos, which he's great at, get in the ring and show you he's more than just 3 or 4 moves and a finisher, which is also awesome. Mr. Anderson is very good. He's very good in NWA. Like I said, they do a great job of putting their roster together and focusing on that quality instead of quantity. It's going to be a great match. It's going to be close. Yeah. But I got to take Eli, too. Because Eli Drake all day. It's nothing
Yes.
against Mr. Anderson. You're just getting a little long in the tooth. just a little bit. All right, so we're gonna skip over that one because that's the main event, and we're gonna go into the first of our title matches that are worth talking about, which is the national championship. Colt Boom Boom Cabana taking on Aaron Stevens and Ricky Starks in a triple threat match.
This match is actually gonna have a little bit of everything. It's gonna have some ground and pound. It's gonna have some natural wrestling, and it's gonna have a little bit of high flying stuff because you got Ricky Starks in there.
Yeah, Ricky can definitely pull off a good high spot. So
it's gonna have a little bit of everything. It's gonna be it's gonna be a good match because Aaron Stevens can go. Like we've seen it when he was in the E. We saw his little time in Impact. Like we know this guy can go.
Yeah,
and it's about damn due time for him to get his just due. But Boom Boom's keeping the title. He's not losing the title yet. Boom Boom's gonna keep the title.
I know I sound repetitive. It's like broken record, but I'm gonna say it again because it's worth saying. This is going to be another great match. Yeah. Like this match might steal the show if it weren't for maybe something else that we haven't talked about yet. But but it might because you do have a nice clash of styles. Like Colt, he's a little old school, but he can do some various stuff. He's kind of hybrid. Aaron Stevens is definitely a gimmick, but can go. And then Ricky is just crazy. Like he's definitely a great up and comer. It's gonna be a wonderful match, but I feel like somehow it's gonna be one of those things where like Ricky, hits a finisher on Aaron Stevens, and Colt just kind of tosses him out of the ring, gets a 3 count. Kind of the way he won that title. With the interference, Camille and all that, like he just kind of took advantage of a situation. I think he's going to do it again, and I think he's going to retain his title. So we agree on that one too. Which is weird because we don't usually agree on anything. But
I think we've agreed on all 3 matches.
We have
so far.
We really have. Like we've had different takes on it, but the pick is exactly the same, dude. Which is fine. It's a collective show. So if we agree. No problem with that. Now the next one is interesting just because I absolutely love them and I'm amazed they're still around on this stage, and that's the tag team title match where the Rock and Roll Express themselves will be defending against the Wild Cards, Thomas Latimer and Royce Isaacs.
All right, I'll let you go first.
Oh man, I was hoping you didn't. It's and again, NWA does things differently, and if the Rock and Roll Express would have won a tag team title in any other promotion, I would have been like, what the hell, man? They're too old. They're this, they're that. But in NWA, with all the retro and all the tradition and all the old school type gimmicks and matches that they have, it fits perfectly. And I'm marked like never before when they became the nine-time, well, you get the rest, champs. And I want to see them retain. I really do. I'll be pulling for them, but my head keeps screaming the Wild Cards get the titles back. And I love you guys. You wore my childhood, but yeah, Wild Cards take the title. Oh, I can hear the gears. Like he's like, do I pick them? Do I pick them? Do I pick them?
So here's the thing. I agree on the Rock and Roll Express everywhere else. It was cool to see him come out in AEW and introduce the tag titles and stuff like that. But it's NWA.
Mm-hmm.
It's the home of the Rock and Roll Express.
Right.
The more I think about it, the more they're gonna keep the titles. They're gonna keep them. They're gonna keep them.
I mean,
they're gonna get a little bit of a run, and they're gonna keep them.
Yeah, I mean, I wanna try and say something or argue with you because we disagree or whatever. But even in my heart, I felt that, but my head just kept saying, "There's no chance. There's no chance." Then you came in with that description, and all I could think was like,
"Hey, that's pretty good."
I know.
You're good, you. All right, let me just go over. All right, okay. So now that we've covered everything else, we are down to the main event Into the Fire, which is of course for sweet Charlotte, which I stole from all this. No, I'm kidding. There's going to be no title at Into the Fire because I got it right here. No.
Okay,
no.
Walter.
Okay, let me pull Lance Storm and let me be serious for a minute. We've got, of course, James Storm taking on Nick Aldis. It's a 2 out of 3 falls match, which is great. That's like NWA through and through. And each of the first 2 falls have a referee that was handpicked by the competitors. Like James Storm, he picked, I think, Brian Hebner. Yeah, which is a solid pick. And then Nick Aldis kind of threw a monkey wrench in there, and he went and picked Tim Storm, which is the man that he beat for that title, and pulled kind of for anybody who doesn't watch NWA but AEW, pulled kind of a Cody on him, because now Tim Storm can no longer challenge for Charlotte thanks to Nick Aldis, and then Aldis picks him. I was like, whoa. And we're going to get a little more into that with our Keep It or Kill It questions at the end. But now that you've got your stogie lit there, why don't you lead us in and tell us who you think is going to win this NWA title?
Oh, my God. Before I give you my pick, I've got to go into how awesome this fucking storyline is with these two. Oh, my God. This storyline is... Hey, billion-dollar company, if you want to know how to do a storyline, watch Power. Watch this.
Right.
Dude, this James Storm angle with him being kept off of Power and his number 1 contenders match being and the man holding him down, and then the time Billy Corgan came out in one of his matches and cost him
and even that episode of Power last week where Nick started going on about the squeakiest wheel getting the grease, and he's the squeakiest one of all time, so he's going to do this to shut him the hell up.
Dude, like
you don't deserve this, but I'm giving it to you anyway, but we're doing it like this. That was amazing. That was such a great promo.
Such great storytelling from those two. I've loved James Storm.
Oh yeah.
Since his debut tag team with Chris Harris, I can't remember their name. TNA.
Something Outlaws. I know that.
yeah, but whatever. From there to Beer Money to a singles run, dude, the guy is fucking phenomenal. Mm-hmm. So is Nick Aldis, even when he was part of the British invasion. Like
it took me.
Amazing.
I'll be totally honest. It took me a while to be sold on Nick Aldis, and one of the biggest reasons was just the way. And again, not his fault, but just the way kind of Dixie set him up for that title run, and the way she kind of just made him look weak and soft, and he needed all this help. And it wasn't a cool storyline. He didn't need it, and he proved that once he got to NWA, and that's when I really started to love and respect him. I have said on this show before, that dude right now is like the champion of champions, and not because he has this. I mean, that's one reason. But just the way he carries himself, the promos he shoots, the work in the ring, the whole nine, he is tremendous. He is the best champion there is in any company right now. So do we think he's going to keep that title and continue to be that champion, or does James Storm have a shot?
Here it is. This right here is what's going to happen. Okay? Sweet Charlotte's going home with James Storm. This is how it's gonna happen. Storm's gonna win the first fall with Hebner.
Mm-hmm.
Aldis will win the second fall with Storm. Then they'll do the coin flip. Storm,
now I have two.
Aldis, yeah. Aldis will win the coin flip and get Tim Storm to be the referee of the third fall.
Mm-hmm.
And Storm is going to turn on Aldis and cost him the title because he can no longer challenge for sweet Charlotte that he carried for so long.
Oh man, now I got to get rid of that keep it or kill it question.
That's my pick. That's my pick. It's going to be James Storm, and it's going to be a long feud between Storm and Aldis.
Yeah, I'm
because it's so fucking great.
I like it. I think it's absolutely possible, and if you and again I had to keep it or kill it for Tim Storm, and I feel like he is going to swerve all this maybe even in the second fall, and it's going to.
It wouldn't mean as much in the second fall.
But that's what I mean. It's going to look like James Storm has no chance. He got like manhandled and beaten up and taken out in the first fall, and then somehow Storm swerves him to get James back in it, and then in the third fall, it may just come down to Camille, because we know she's barred. We know she's barred, but she's also had some run-ins with James Storm where she whispered something in his ear, and she cost James Storm the national championship, at least in part because of her interference and Colt kind of taking advantage, like we talked about. I feel like it's going to come down to where does Camille's loyalty lie, and I think she's going to prove that this was all this whispering and everything else was a big setup to get James Storm to think like, oh yeah, I got you at the pay-per-view, and then she's going to screw him, and that's how all this keeps this.
Okay,
so
I can see it.
I think like first fall is going to be a no, like maybe Aldis just whips his ass, and then second fall Tim Storm turns, beats the crap out of Nick Aldis, and James Storm just covers him, and then they have
who's the referee in the third fall?
I'm guessing we'll go back to Hebner at that point, or they'll have a neutral guy. I don't know, coin flip.
No, it's a coin flip. So
okay, we'll end up with Hebner again, and it may even be by default, because once he screws Aldis, they might just have security come out and like drag him out. One way or another. But the third fall is going to be epic, and then all of a sudden we're going to see Camille come out of nowhere. And then we'll see what really happens, like what side she's on, whatever. I believe she's still with all this, and all this stuff with James Storm was just a work on him to give him some false sense of security. Like, oh, I'm going to help you out. Psych!
I don't know. I honestly see her breaking away from all this so she can go into her singles career. Because it's time for her to hit the ring and get into her singles career.
It is definitely time for her to hit a ring. She's a tremendous worker, and she's in great shape. She's also kind of hot.
Just a little.
Every time she walks out, I'm like,
And
whew. Just. But so that is going to lead us into our final keep it or kill it question, and then we can wrap this up. And it has to do with, of course, the lovely Camille. Hi, how you doing out there? And it's simple. Camille will finally speak at Into the Fire. Keep it or kill it.
Kill it. She ain't going to speak till Power when she's ready.
I think, considering, first pay-per-view since the comeback, solid card, great matches. They're throwing everything behind this so they can kind of, work their way into season 2. That you might actually hear Camille grab a microphone and do something other than.
Not till Power.
So I'm going to keep it for that alone. I think they're going to, really want to give you your money's worth.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything we've got. I mean, I'm looking through. No. We already talked about the Tim Storm question, whether or not he will swerve Nick Aldis, which, yeah, it feels like it. Because he's just been kind of laying in the shadows and hasn't really found his way since he got out of that picture. Like, he had a tag match, he lost. He was going to walk away. Aldis told him not to. I think he still kind of harbors. He's such a great dude, but I think he still kind of harbors, like, that resentment that, like, not only did he lose to Aldis, he got taken out of the picture for this.
James Storm is his way back into the title picture.
And that could be. It really could. Like, I'm not arguing that could happen. I just think it's going to. I just think there's more to it. Like it's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
And then we're also going to get Camille involved because she's been involved in this storyline, like between
from the beginning
and screwing people out of titles and getting clotheslined by Aldis in the first episode when he was fighting Storm and all that. She's got to be involved somehow. I think that's how he ends up keeping it. But I guess we will find out next Saturday.
Yes, we will.
When Into the Fire will be on Fight TV, and I'm sure you've probably already seen this, but if you pre-order it, you actually save $5 too.
How much is it?
It's supposed to be $24.99, but if you pre-order it on Fight TV, it's down to $19.99.
I might get it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. Like, I really want to see what happens, and I'm probably going to pre-order it after the show. But I guess for now, that's pretty much all we got. Like that's our show, folks.
Hey, I just want to thank everyone. Yes, ta-da! Hey, I just want to thank everyone that watched and listened, and I hope you enjoyed the prediction show. And for the new groups, that the NWA groups that we're hoping that this gets put up on, please come join us in Top Rope Wrestling Talk as well on Facebook, and please like, subscribe, leave your comments below.
Right, rate us, review everything,
and join us comments, on a weekly basis.
Yeah, join us every week. We talk about NWA almost every week.
Yeah.
We mix in a lot of other promotions. This one was specifically because of Into the Fire, but we pretty much cover everything, and we do a lot based on our group and what we get on this YouTube page. If we get questions underneath an episode, we answer them. If people, we look for questions from our wrestling group, and we talk all week long when we're not doing this. So come find us, get involved in the NWA title prediction forum, join us for the Into the Fire discussion thread on Saturday, and I guess from that point for the man himself and my lowly ass, we will catch you soon. Enjoy Into the Fire, guys.
Deuces.